Hello, it's Cordell Davenport with SmallApartmentInvestors.com. This is a series of videos that I'm pushing out, and this one in particular is about Michael Gerber. Now, Michael Gerber wrote this book right here, The EMyth, around 2004 or so is when I first read this book, and it really stood out to me. And as I talk to people that own their own businesses, I always recommend that they take a look at this book. It's a lot of insight. And so in this video, I'm going to showcase some things. This is Michael Gerber right here, the author. Now, few people have done a better job of presenting what small businesses do, including what they do to make it work and what they do to make it fail. Now, Gerber here, he learned from his consulting work that people in small business generally work far too much for the return that they get. The tyranny of routine is what he calls it. It means that there is never time to take an objective overview of what they're doing. A perfect control over working hours means, he says, to be able to work on your business and not in it. The surprising message of the EMyth is that going into business is as much about who you are and who you want to be as a person as it is about business in itself. If you are disorganized, you're greedy, if your information about what is happening in your business is not good, the business will reflect those things. Now, for your business to thrive, it will engage you in a process of constant personal development. For it to change, you have to change as well. The quote says, if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. Now, people intoxicate themselves with work so they won't see how they really are. If you start a business with full knowledge of what doing so means to you and why you're doing it, it can be a wonderful experience. Go into it blindly, and it can be a nightmare. Most entrepreneurs are merely technicians with an entrepreneurial seizure. Most entrepreneurs fail because you are working in your business rather not on your business. Now, the E-myth is the belief that anyone who starts a small business is an entrepreneur. Most people simply want to create a job for themselves and stop working for a quote-unquote boss. They think, why should my boss earn lots of money from what I am doing? The problems begin because this person may know a lot about their specialty, but nothing about business in its entirety. Knowing their business area inside and out has not prepared them to run a business. It becomes a liability. Since they become unwilling to hand over the work reins to someone else, now the E-myth is summarized into a single sentence. He says, suddenly the job he knew how to do so well becomes one job he knows how to do plus a dozen others he doesn't know how to do at all. Now, when real entrepreneurship starts, we have to consider some things. So what he's going to do, and he breaks things down to three different categories that he sometimes says that people become three into one. So we have the technician, the person actually doing the work itself, the manager who makes sure that everything is organized, pushing the technician to ensure that goals are met, and then the entrepreneur, or quote unquote CEO. The visionary or dreamer charting the overall direction of the company. Now, each of these roles does battle with each other, and most people have a lopsided balance within themselves. The most common breakdown of someone who starts a business is 10% entrepreneur, 20% manager, and then 70% technician. Entrepreneur, manager, technician. Now, the problem of the technician is that he or she believes the answer to every problem is to work harder. A small business in its infancy is easy to spot. You, as the owner, are trying to do everything. You are the only person who knows how to do everything after all. But with the business growing, you have to employ someone else. So you don't have to think about the aspect of the business you didn't like anyway. But at some point, this employee decides to leave and the business is thrown into chaos again. Now, for you, the entrepreneur, is to do more, work harder. Forget about any long term goals, just get the product out the door. No one, you realize, can do the work like you do because you're a perfectionist. So the business must stay at a size at which you can do all the work. When an owner does not want to move out of their comfort zone, involving them being in control as a technician is possibly the most dangerous for all small business owners. Now, the owner morale dips, and eventually the business dies because it has reached its natural limits. And though there is some statistical data that says how, like, within 5 years, 90% of businesses fail. And the huge reason is because what Michael Gerber talks about. A lot of it has to do with systems, not having systems and doing all the work. So take a look at this. You can hit pause and then just reflect and meditate on these three categories right here because it goes in detail. And then I'm going to continue in a couple of seconds. All right. Hopefully you took a look at that. Now, the purpose of going into business is to get free of a job so you can create jobs for the people. It's not to be free of a boss, but rather to go in further into your field that you could just working for yourself. To create something great out of your life's work that makes a difference. How a smaller business could become big with the right systems and organization in place. If you take the bolder route about where you want to go with the business, write this goal down. Any plan is better than no plan. A mature company, he writes, begins differently than the rest. Most great companies set out with a vision of where they want to go. Tom Watson, who founded IBM, said, I realized that for IBM to become a great company, it had to act like a great company before it ever became one. One of my favorite quotes, and not to be conceited or anything, but I thought of this quote that kind of matches up to what he just said, and is you have to be before you are. So if you want to be something or do something, you have to do something else before that. You have to be this person, be this company, whatever it is, before you are that person or you are that company. Now, so the technician here, only model for his business is work, where the entrepreneur, the motto is the business itself. The work is secondary. The paradox is summed up in Watson, who founded IBM. He said that every day at IBM was a day devoted to business development, not doing business. Therefore, work on your business, not in your business. Mickey D's, McDonald's. Now, in his book, he talks about McDonald's as a perfect example of a business that worked. The brilliance of the concept is not simply the food, but the system that can be replicated thousands of times all over the world. Though the founder, Ray Kroc, when he first came across his business idea, it was in San Bernardino, California. And the owners, the McDonald's brothers, did not see the vision of what Ray Kroc had in store. But Ray Kroc had the vision of pushing food out quickly and cheaply. And from that, it just grew and grew and grew and grew. Now, he loved even more than food, but the beauty of the system that the McDonald's brothers had originally developed. Its speed, simplicity, and orderliness. He says that great people have a vision of their lives that they practice emulating each and every day. They go to work on their lives, not just in their lives. Most small businesses believe that they will grow through hiring brilliant people, managers that can take the business to a new level. In fact, this is a hard miss. What you really need is an idiot-proof system and procedures that enable merely good people to do extraordinary things. Ways of operating that guarantee a customer is satisfied, not by individual people, but the system itself. If you can build a great business around ordinary people, normal people, you don't have to worry about finding extraordinary people. So this is a cycle of business. There's multiple facets, as you can see here. And that leadership one in the middle should be the entrepreneur. You see, you have to orchestrate, standardize, organize your business down to the smallest details and break it down. Because the only certainty in the business is that your staff will act unpredictably. With proper standards, proper systems, proper accountability, you cut risk. And as a result, the customers get what they want all the time. A business is like a machine that generates money. The more you standardize and refine the machine, the clearer the value will be. In fulfilling a duty, your skill can be multiplied many times. Orchestration through a business system leverages what you do, what you know. A great business can fill both gaps, giving a sense of camaraderie and order that would otherwise be missing. It brings more life to both customers, employees, providing a fixed point of reference and an island of purposeful calm in an otherwise disorderly world. Franchising can be considered as a turnkey revolution, he states, in that it allows someone to buy the right to use a business system in which all they have to do is turn the key to get it going and become profitable. Franchising rests on the understanding that the true product of a business is the business itself. However, though you can do very well buying a franchise, you can do even better by starting some kind of business system yourself. So that's that. Michael Gerber, EMyth. He wrote multiple books, FYI. You can check him out online. I highly suggest you check his book out. He has multiple books, as I mentioned. Well, that's it for now. See you at the next time I present someone else you and I can learn from. Later.